What's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. And as promised, this is the pre recorded show. I told you guys we'll be releasing today. Still having problems getting this sound right. I might have to end up getting a separate program to get the sound how I want it to be because I want the music in the background with the actual information. But the problem I'm having is when the music is in, the sound doesn't come out right. It sounds like it's not recorded properly. So still trying to figure it out and get over that hurdle. Um, like I said, I might have to go ahead and just buckle down and grab some software separate from the one I use to go live. But anyway, how are you guys doing? What's up with you guys? How you guys feeling? Um, it is the end of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde was it was pretty stressful for a lot of us. A lot of people were going through a lot of conflict. I've talked to trials and tribulations, self doubt. These are all things that people struggle with on a regular. But it seems like it was amplified times at least three or two during the retrograde. So now that we're out of that, we're actually in a Saturn retrograde. So a lot of people have been asking me exactly what to expect with the Saturn retrograde. Well, according to my research, the Saturn retrograde is basically a event of karma. It's an event of what you've done in the past will come back to affect you. And when they say tenfold, this is what they were talking about. So if it's a situation where you pretty much were doing people dirty, you're about to get what you deserve pretty soon. Likewise, on the other end, vice versa, yin and yang. If you've been doing nothing but the right thing for people and trying to look out for people as much as possible, there's very much a situation where you might actually get a lot of positivity back from it. So that's something that we have to remember. Always treat people the way they need to be treated and the way you would want to be treated. Because when time comes, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that negativity you put out in the atmosphere. So Saturn retrograde started on June 4th and it ends on October 23rd. So it's going to be a long stretch for this one. So I just hope everybody's got their mind right. I hope everybody's been living accordingly because it's definitely about to be a situation where what you sow, you definitely gonna reap. Yes, indeed. It's the whole reason I always tell people to try to look out for people as much as possible and try to help people as much as you can within your power, of course. Information and time doesn't cost anything um, in certain circumstances. You know, if you can reach out to help somebody you know or somebody that needs it, go ahead and do so. Take the time to go ahead and give back. It's much appreciated tenfold a lot of times. You know, tell you guys about that one time where I was actually getting my car washed a few years back, and this guy who was washing and detailing my car, he had he was arguing with his girlfriend over the phone. I happened to hear the conversation, so I'm waiting for my car to get finished being detailed. I'm heading down to the liquor store to get myself a beer, maybe a couple drinks or something. So by the time I get back, I can just get in my car and go. So while I'm at the store, I make sure I grab, a beer for him or something like that. Didn't even ask, I noticed he was arguing with his girlfriend, and he said something about it being his birthday, and she's giving him drama on his birthday. So grabbed him something while I was at the liquor store, just off the arm, just being trying to be a better person, basically. Random acts of kindness. So I get the man a beer. He's good with that. Drop it off to him. And he was like, "Oh man, I didn't even expect this, dude. I don't think had anybody do something like that, man. I don't even know you, and you went out of your way and you hooked me up." I was like, "I don't worry about it, man. It's all good. I heard you arguing with your girl. You said it was your birthday, man. Well, here's something to make you feel a little bit better. Here's a beer." He was like, "Man, that's solid, bro. That's solid, man." And I was like, "Yeah, well, all you really got to do, bro, be one, just be always be thankful, and then two, if you see somebody that needs some help or something like that, do something for them, man. You know, Go do it for one or two people, and then tell them people to do the same thing. Instead of paying you back money or something, have them people go do it for three people or something, or go do it for two people. Next thing you know, you got a whole community of people that are helping out other people. You know what I mean? That's how you spread that positivity. That positivity is what really needs to be spread, because there's a whole lot of negative, there's a whole lot of deceit, there's a whole lot of malice out there right now, and we just need to do our best to combat everything that's happening, because there has to be balance, and the balance has to be us. That's our responsibility as enlightened people, you know. And nobody's perfect. Sometimes we get tired. Sometimes we get a little self-centered. Sometimes we feel as though we just don't even want to be bothered, But the issue with that is, given our heightened sense of awareness and given our ability to think critically and ask the simple question, why? That's a superpower in this day and age. I thought superpowers are people that fly and people that have mutant powers and can move steel with their minds. But man, I tell you what, the mutant power is being able to ask the question why and have an ascended way of thinking, apply critical thinking to everyday activities that people would just gloss over. Those are the mutant powers. Those are the mutant powers. So I will go as far as to say that's the advantage we have. So us being the enlightened ones, we have the burden and chore of kind of trying to guide people the right way. When sometimes you get tired, you get worn out, you get beat from the journey, but still got to be there to offer them explanations, man, because every so often people will start to ask questions. When they start to wake up, they'll start to ask why, and they'll eventually come to you. And you got to be ready to guide them in the right direction, because that's why we're here. Bottom line. So yep, I'm one of those guys, man. Sometimes I don't even want to deal with people. Like, I'm just tired. I just don't want to explain nothing, you know. But that's part of being in this flesh, man. We ain't perfect. But at the end of the day, I make sure if I have some information that can help people out, and if they're willing to accept it, I'm the one that'll put them on point. You know, it is what it is with that. That's why it's I always tell people, we chose to come down here to this particular realm. We were spirits and such, and in our free state, free form, we chose to come in this particular dimension at this current time. You know, that's our spirit and our souls. We came here. And some of these people walking around, man, some of them don't have souls. You can just see it in their eyes, but we do. And the ones who are lost, following the norm, and they haven't unlocked their potential fully yet, when they finally start to look for a way to figure out what's actually happening, or an alternate way of seeing things or thinking, we got to be there for them. So that's why we have to always be willing to voice our opinions, you know, put those methods and ways out there. Always good to be different, man. I tell you. I was having a conversation with a few other people, man, and people just they're wondering why their family can't grasp the concepts. I'm like, yo, your family can't grasp the concept because they're not on the same path you're on, man. It's hard to accept. Sometimes their path might be different than ours, but that's no reason to not at least try to guide them in the right direction if you see them struggling. 100%. And a lot of this information we have, man, if people would actually sit down and listen to it, because people need to see things happen first before they believe them, which is kind of understandable. But that's all part of this dimension, man. People like to see things happen first before they engage or before they believe them. There's so much deceit going on around here that they got to see stuff. But the thing about that is, you could be shown something that's false and believe it and see that to be truth. And that's the issue. That's the issue with thinking like that. It's very easy to pull one over in your eyes, because when you see something, you can see something with your eyes that could be all the script or screenplay, actors, directors. backgrounds, things like that make it seem real when it really isn't. And you never ask yourself why, because you've always been taught to believe what you see. So if you see something, you feel as though it's real. You never question it. Well, we were always taught to question everything, even what you see. That's the difference. That's definitely the difference. So with that said, this is the time of learning. Saturn retrograde. Karma's coming back around. So I hope you've been doing and treating everybody appropriately. Because if so, you will be rewarded with monetary gains. Could be situations where you get opportunities that weren't there before. Scenarios you might have had a problem with, they may be getting solved or fixed soon. And that's pretty much what it is, man. Learning and karma, teaching valuable lessons. Valuable lessons will come back around that you need in order to help you evolve, mentally. Life's all about evolving anyway. If you're at the same spot you were 10 years ago, you're not doing your job. You didn't learn enough. You didn't experience enough. If you think the same way you thought pre 2020, you are doing something completely wrong, especially if you know better. If you had that ability to see and you refuse to acknowledge it, then you are on the wrong path. You have to accept evolution and change and introduction of new thoughts and challenging previous beliefs. These are all parts of evolution. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people that say you eat the meat and spit out the bones, so to speak. I always thought that was interesting, an interesting phrase, when you're digesting something or you're taking in something, have a moral that you already follow. That way you can apply it and test it against your morals and your beliefs and see if it works or not, if it makes sense or not. That's pretty much the bottom line of it all. It's been a very interesting year. I tell you what, man. This year's been very interesting. So far, just anxious to see what comes next. It's gonna be very interesting. But all the things they try to do to throw us off our square and to not let us try to function and stay worried and afraid of things. We just stay true. We stay focused, and we realize there's a difference between what's happening and what you see happening. Two completely different things, not even the same in nature. Yes, indeed. So, with that said, highly recommend you guys continue taking care of your body, minding how you talk to people, minding what information you take in. We talked about the diet. The diet isn't necessarily just food. The diet can also be energy you have around you, that you keep around you, things you watch and listen to. Make sure that diet is intact. Get back to reading. Mercury retrograde being over, some of the mischief's pretty much gone. So you should be able to take in some knowledge and read, apply what you've read. I got to get back to my reading too. I took a long break from reading. I got to get back on it because the knowledge is out there and we must do our best to absorb it. That way we can apply it and pass that knowledge on. I mean, this can be books, this can be videos, a lot of things I tell people too. Some of you guys say that you don't have the time to do to read books and stuff like that. What I say to that is, man, you can get yourself an audio book. You can literally download an audio book and play it while you're in the car. Just continue to roll with that. You ain't got time to hold the book in your hand. You play that audio book while you're on the road. Truck drivers. I know some of my listeners are truck drivers. Throw that audio book on. Keep it moving. Absorb some of that knowledge. Take it in any way you can so you can apply. Also with some of these processes you guys are doing, get creative, man. Use what you're learning and be creative. That's basically it. So with that said, I'm your gracious host, A6, the foreign national born natural. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.